Hey everybody, it's Dan. It is October 6th, and you know what that means. That means it is time for the next installment in our exploration of the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street films. That's right, I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Now, in this one, it's, in my opinion, the best one in the entire series, but a lot of people disagree and say it's one of the worst. But in this one, basically, Freddy's whole plan is to return to the world of the living and do so through the body of one guy one kid, one male, who happens to be living in the old house that Nancy from the first one lived in and is actually sleeping in her room. And you'll notice in a couple of films that there's something about this house in particular on Elm Street that draws Freddy to it. I have no idea what it is. It's not like it was his house or anything, but nonetheless, he keeps gravitating towards this house throughout the series, and it's an important part of it. Anyway, Jesse, the main character, is sleeping in the same room that Nancy used to sleep in when she lived in the house during the events of the first film in the series. And he keeps having horrible nightmares that involve Freddy, and he's not sure why, and he's getting freaked out. He's waking up screaming. Everybody considers him the weird kid. But he still has, some friends and everything, and there's some redhead gal who invites him out to a party in one of the craziest scenes that I've seen in any of these films. Um, but yeah, so Freddy is attempting to come back to the world of the living through Jesse's body. He is essentially possessing him so that he can become him, he can take over, and he can come back into the real world and continue his murder spree. Now, in the previous film and in this film, it is 100% confirmed that Freddy killed 20 children before being killed himself, and then he killed another 4 in the first film, so his kill count is up to 24 at this point. But it doesn't stop there. In this film, he actually slaughters more than in any of the other films in the series, and his kill count in this film gets up to 9, including, like I said, a great scene near a pool during a party that this redhead chick invites Jesse to, excuse me, I'm thinking Friday the 13th, where Freddy actually comes out of Jason's body and begins slaughtering these kids at this party in the real world, not in a dream. And then walks through some brush and just vanishes. Now that, to me, is one of the things that really makes this my favorite film in this series. Uh, it's the only film in the series, and I've watched them all at this point that I'm making this video here, where Freddy is actually killing people in the real world, and the people who he's killing and the people who are around actually see him doing it. It's not just him in a dream, it's him active in the actual world, and there's some astounding effects in this one. I mean, there's a scene where Freddy rips himself out of Jesse's body in front of Jesse's best friend and then proceeds to slaughter him behind a door that is locked that he can't seem to get out of and his parents can't seem to get through, and it's a bloodbath, and you see just he rips out of Jesse and just Jesse's flesh just slops down onto the ground. I mean, it's great. There's a scene where, for whatever reason, Jesse wakes up in the middle of the night. Maybe he's sort of sleepwalking, and he walks into a gay bar and orders a drink And in the gay bar, he ends up running into his gym teacher, who is, just an angry, bitter man because he's gay for whatever reason, I guess. And for whatever really weird, ridiculous reason, I don't know if the guy's planning on raping the kid or what, but he makes him go to the school in the middle of the night after seeing him at a gay bar, forces him to run around the gym several times, and then tells him to go hit the showers. Which just seems really weird to me. I mean, more strange than the other things that happen in the movie, to be totally honest. This guy's just a creep. And rightfully so. He gets killed when towels just begin whacking him for no reason in the real world. It's Freddy doing it, but you can't actually see Freddy at the time, but you do see all of these things happening. He gets burned severely by a shower head that just sort of like rips itself out of the wall and begins scalding him, and eventually gets murdered by Freddy through Jesse's body. Jesse grows the claws all of a sudden that Freddy has on his glove, and just slaughters the guy. So yeah, just really interesting effects. There's a point where Jesse and the redhead gal, whose name I can't remember, kind of start to get busy a little bit, and Freddy's long, creepy tongue just comes out of Jesse's mouth and begins, licking up and down the girl. It's really disturbing, and he sees it and freaks out and manages to get it back in and says he just gotta go, and that's when all the horrific things happen at the party. So yeah, pretty outstanding stuff. Really good effects, and like I said, the only one in the series where Freddy is actually the only one in the canonical films where Freddy is in the real world and actually, killing people, and everybody around can see him doing it. So that is primarily what I think makes this one my favorite in the series. You can comment below, like this, subscribe, and just let me know what you think. I don't know, I've heard that this is the one that's kind of universally panned by fans of the series. I'm just sort of a normie. I'm not really a big fan of the series at all. I'm just kind of, going with what I see. But I don't know, let me know what you think. If you've seen all of them, is this your favorite? Is this your least favorite? And why? I'm really interested in hearing from you guys. So with that said, I'm out. The next one is also a fairly fun one, but it's kind of where the Nightmare on Elm Street series starts to go way downhill. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. So stay tuned tomorrow for that one. All right.